Hello, sports fans. Great to be back with you. Let the March Madness begin as we are ready for the tournament. A very exciting time of the year. I think this tournament is going to be fabulous. I think at least 7 teams can win this thing. Let's dive right into it. Now, I'm not going to pick the play-in games tonight and tomorrow from Dayton. I don't love those games. I'll keep track of who's winning. I'll peek at those games. But to me, the tournament starts on Thursday. Let's get right to it. The East Region up in Buffalo. The 1-16 matchup. Number 1, Villanova, the number 1 overall seed in this tournament. The national champions from last year. They had the dramatic three-pointer at the buzzer to beat North Carolina. They follow that up with a Big East regular season crown, and they win the Big East tournament. So Villanova on an absolute roll the last couple of years. They will take on the 16 seed, the winner of Mount St. Mary's and New Orleans. Either way, Villanova wins this game easily. The game will be over by halftime. Villanova advances to the round of 32. Let's go to the 8-9 matchup. 8 Wisconsin will take on number 9 Virginia Tech. These 8-9 games are very fun. They're usually very, very close. No team has won more postseason games the last few years than Wisconsin. I'm going to take them here to eke it out by a couple points. I like Wisconsin to get to the round of 32. Let's go to the 5-12 matchup in Orlando. 5 Virginia will take on 12 UNC Wilmington. I love Virginia's defense. They play hard. They play tremendous defense. They don't take a play off. I like Virginia with their defense to advance here, so I like Virginia moving on to the round of 32. The 4-13 matchup will be the 4 Florida Gators against 13 East Tennessee State. This is also from Orlando. You expect Florida to have a big home crowd in this game. I know Florida has a key injury. Their big center tore his ACL. He's going to miss this whole tournament. That is a key loss, but I do think Florida against East Tennessee State will have enough, especially playing in Orlando. I like Florida to advance there. Let's go to the 6-11 matchup in Tulsa. SMU, the 6, will take on the 11 seed. That will be the winner of the Providence USC play-in game. SMU had a really nice year. I watched a lot of SMU this year. They seem to be on all the time. SMU had a fabulous year. I think they'll eke it out against either Providence or USC, so I will take SMU there to get to the round of 32. The 3-14 matchup will be 3 Baylor against number 14 New Mexico State. Baylor has a history of going out early in the tournament. They scare me, but I do think they have enough to beat New Mexico State, so I like Baylor to advance there. The 7-10 matchup, this will be in Greenville, South Carolina. It will be number 7 South Carolina against number 10 Marquette. Martin does a really nice job at South Carolina. This is a football school all the way. He's done a great job getting this team to the tournament. Marquette, Wojo doing a fabulous job with them as well. This is going to be a very close game. I wonder how many South Carolina fans are going to make the pilgrimage over to Greenville. Could be a big home crowd for South Carolina there. It definitely would be if it was a football game. We'll see about basketball. I'm going to take Marquette here, though. I think Marquette ekes it out. I think they squeak it out. I like Marquette and the squeaker to get to the round of 32. And the 2-15 matchup, also from Greenville, South Carolina. Duke, the number 2, against number 15, Troy. You got to like Duke to cruise. Duke is hot now. They're together. They come off the big ACC tournament win. Duke looks like a very dangerous team right now. You got to like Duke there. So that is your first round in the East. Let's go down to the first round in the West. These games will be played in Salt Lake City, Utah. Number 1, Gonzaga, who only lost 1 game this year to BYU, trying to get to the Final Four. They keep knocking on the door. They keep falling a little short. Maybe this is their year. They will take on the 16 seed, the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. I love that name. What a great name. Jackrabbits have been in the tournament a bunch of times. You got to like Gonzaga here to get through. I like Gonzaga getting to the round of 32. The 8-9 matchup also in Salt Lake. It'll be number 8 Northwestern against number 9 Vandy. Vandy lost 15 games this year, but played a tough schedule, did beat Florida 3 times. Northwestern, the first time they're in the tournament at all. This is the first time Northwestern's made the tournament in their history. What a great job by Collins. I'll tell you, Mike Krzyzewski, a lot of his assistant coaches that went on to be head coaches have done a great job. Collins, Wojciechowski, Bray at Notre Dame, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, what a great job by Collins getting Northwestern to the tournament. I'm going to go with Northwestern here. Vanderbilt, like I said, lost 15 games, and Northwestern in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament got obliterated by 40 by Wisconsin. I think they're going to be mad about that, so I'll take Northwestern to advance there. The 5-12 games, these will be played in Buffalo. Number 5, Notre Dame will take on number 12, Princeton. I got to think Notre Dame, a team out of the ACC, is going to be able to handle an Ivy League team. I know Princeton, they play a very, very hard style to play against. They're always around the tournament. They pulled off upsets before, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. I like Notre Dame to get through. The 4-13 matchup also in Buffalo will be West Virginia, the 4 against 13 Bucknell. I gotta like West Virginia. Huggy Bear Huggins can coach. West Virginia is a very hard team to prepare for. They call them Press Virginia. They play a very frenetic style. Bucknell, also another team that's pulled off upsets in the past. They beat Kansas, who was a 1 years ago. Can't see it happening here. I like West Virginia to move on. Let's go to the 6-11 matchups. These will be in Orlando, Florida. Number 6, Maryland will take on number 11, Xavier. Xavier has a key injury. Sumner is out for the postseason. That's a big injury for them. Didn't love what I saw from Maryland this year. This is a very, very interesting game, a toss-up game. Could go either way. I'll go with Maryland just because Sumner is out for Xavier, so I'll take Maryland there reluctantly. The 3-14 matchup, also from Orlando. You got 3 Florida State against number 14 Florida Gulf Coast. So you're gonna have a lot of fans from both schools converging on Orlando for this one. I know a lot of people are picking an upset here. A lot of people down on Florida State. I think Florida State's going to have enough to beat Florida Gulf Coast. Florida State coming out of the ACC, battle-tested. They play big games every night. They'll have enough at home, in Orlando, to beat Florida Gulf Coast. I expect a lot of Florida State fans to make the trip down there. I think FSU has enough. They will get to the round of 32. And down to the 7-10 matchups. These games will be played also in Salt Lake City, Utah. You have number 7 St. Mary's against number 10 VCU. These two teams are always in the tournament. Two good little programs. This is another toss-up game. I'll go with St. Mary's. I mean, it is amazing what St. Mary's does out there. I mean, a very small school, and they're always in the tournament. I think St. Mary's ekes it out. They get to the round of 32. And the 2-15 matchup, also from Salt Lake City, Utah. You have number 2 Arizona, who won the Pac-12 tournament, against number 15 North Dakota. I believe this is North Dakota's first time in the tournament. You gotta like Arizona to cruise. Arizona is one of the most dangerous teams in this tournament. Arizona will cruise there, so I like Arizona getting to the round of 32. All right, let's get up to the first round of the Midwest region. This will be in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Number 1, Kansas will take on the winner of North Central against UC Davis. In North Carolina Central, I should say. I mean, either way, Kansas is going to win big. I mean, please. Kansas is going to pick their score in this game. Kansas rolls in this game. The 8-9 matchup, also from Tulsa, Oklahoma, is a good one. You got Miami against Michigan State. Miami the 8, Michigan State the 9. Two very good coaches. Larinaga for Miami. Remember, he took George Mason to the Final Four. Tom Izzo for Michigan State, one of the best tournament coaches ever. Michigan State does have a huge injury. Harris is out for the year. Michigan State didn't have a great year. I never count out Michigan State. They've made big runs before. Can't see them doing it this year. I'll take Miami there in a squeaker. The 5-12 matchup in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You have number 5, Iowa State, who won the Big 12 tournament and looked good doing it, and their fans loved every second of that. Their fans were rowdy there in that Big 12 tournament. They will take on the 12 seed, the Nevada Wolfpack, who had a very good year. Gotta like Iowa State here. I think they're too strong. They're on a roll. I like Iowa State to win there. The number 4-13 matchup, also in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 4, Purdue will take on the 13 Vermont Catamounts. I got to go with Purdue out of the Big Ten to pull this game out. I know Vermont had a very good year, but I can't see him beating Purdue out of the Big Ten. I like Purdue there. Let's go to the 6-11 matchup. This game is in Sacramento. Number 6, Creighton will take on number 11, Rhode Island. Creighton also a big injury. Watson is out for the year. That's a huge loss for Creighton. Some people were picking them to get to the Final Four. After that injury, everyone jumped off their bandwagon. Rhode Island, how about the end of the year they had? I mean, what a great job by Hurley, the coach there, getting this team to win the Atlantic 10 Conference. First time Rhode Island's been in the postseason since 1999 when Lamar Odom hit that three-pointer at the buzzer. Been a long time for Rhode Island. I'm going to take Rhode Island here. I think they're hot. I think Creighton's got a key injury. I like Rhode Island in that game. The 3-14 matchup, also from Sacramento. You got number 3 Oregon and against number 14 Iona. Oregon, yet another team with a key injury. Oregon would be a contender for the national championship, but they have a key injury. Boucher out. He's a major part of their team. Oregon's still good, but do I think they can win the title now without him? No. I do think they can get by Iona. This should be a very high-scoring game. Upsets usually take place when the scores are low. When the scores are high, the favorites usually win. Klus for Iona is a tremendous coach. Iona will make this exciting. They're always in the tournament. I think this will be like a 98-90 game. I think Oregon pulls it out, though. I like Oregon there. The 7-10 matchup in Indianapolis. You have the Michigan Wolverines at 7 against 10 Oklahoma State Cowboys. How about Michigan, what they did? Winning the Big Ten tournament, and look how they did it. Their plane skids off the runway. A lot of players didn't even want to get back on the plane. They had a vote. The majority ruled. They got back on the plane. They fly and play day one of the Big East tournament, Big Ten tournament, and win. And then they just plow through the Big Ten tournament and win the whole thing. And they look good doing it. Anyone doubt that Beilein's a good coach? Michigan on a real roll. That's scary when teams get on that kind of roll. They're like a team of destiny now. I think Michigan is going to have too much for Oklahoma State here. I like Michigan to win that game. The 2-15 matchup, also in Indianapolis, you will have the 2 Louisville against 15 Jacksonville State. Listen, you gotta love Louisville. Rick Pitino is a fabulous coach. Preaches defense. Louisville will win this game by about 40 points. I like Louisville to roll in that game. All right, let's get to the first round of the South region. This will be in South Carolina again. This will be in Greenville. Number 1 North Carolina will take on 16 Texas Southern. Pick your score. This has like 90-40 written all over it. North Carolina wins this game in the first 10 minutes. This will be ugly. I like North Carolina to roll in this game. The 8-9 matchup is a good one, also from Greenville. Number 8 Arkansas against number 9 Seton Hall. Very, very interesting game. Being the game's in South Carolina and Arkansas fans travel well, I think it's going to be an Arkansas house. I don't think many Seton Hall people are going to get down there. I think that'll be enough to push Arkansas over the top. I like Arkansas in that game. The 5-12 matchup from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 5 Minnesota against number 12 Middle Tennessee State. Remember, Middle Tennessee State beat Michigan State last year. That was the big upset of the tournament in the first round. Minnesota doing a nice job. Remember, Rick Pitino's son coaches that team. Minnesota, another team, though, with a key injury. There's a bunch of teams with injuries. Spring's out for the year. I think this has got upset written all over it. I'm going to take Middle Tennessee State here. I think Minnesota is ripe to be picked off. I'll take Middle Tennessee State in the upset there. The 4-13 matchup, number 4 Butler against number 13 Winthrop. I like Butler. They beat Villanova twice. I mean, come on. Villanova only had, 3 losses? Butler beat them twice. You got to like Butler to take care of business here. The 6-11 matchup in Sacramento, number 6 Cincinnati will take on the winner of Kansas State and Wake Forest. Cincinnati's a team that scares me. In the past, they've had trouble scoring. Now, this year's team seems to have better offense, although when I watched them in the tournament final against SMU, they reverted back to their old form and SMU blew them out. I do think Cincinnati will have enough to win here, though, in round 1, so I like Cincy to advance there. The 3-14 matchup, number 3 UCLA against number 14 Kent State. UCLA definitely a contender to win the national championship. Had some huge wins this year against North Carolina, Kentucky. May have to beat both of them again to get to the Final Four. Gotta like UCLA to win here. And down at the bottom, the 7-10 matchup. We're now in Indianapolis. The number 7 Dayton Flyers will take on 10 Wichita State, who's always in the tournament. This is a fabulous matchup. Dayton, of course, coached by Archie Miller, who is the brother of Sean Miller, who coaches Arizona. Wichita State always in the tournament, always does fabulous things. I'm going to take Wichita State here. I think this game could go either way, but I like the Shockers. They always do something in the tournament. I'll take Wichita State there. And down at the bottom also, again from Indianapolis, number 2 Kentucky against number 15 Northern Kentucky. Gotta like the Wildcats. Kentucky steamrolled through the SEC tournament. Seem to be peaking now. They're starting to get it defensively. They're a very young team, but they're starting to put it together. Gotta like Kentucky to roll there. So that is your round 1. Let's get to the round of 32. Let's go back up to the east. Let's go back up to Buffalo. You'll have Villanova against Wisconsin. you gotta like Villanova here. I mean, come on, Villanova. I mean, how could you go against them here? I know Wisconsin has done some great things in the tournament the last few years. Wisconsin's not on Villanova's level this year. Villanova gets through and they do it in double-digit fashion. I like Nova to roll there. Then you have from Orlando, you have Virginia against Florida. Very interesting matchup. I think the house will be all Florida. I think that key injury to the Florida center, though, shows up here. I think Virginia defense stifles them, and I like Virginia to advance to the Sweet 16 by beating Florida in Orlando. Let's go to Tulsa. We have a very interesting matchup here. We'll have SMU against Baylor. Like I said, Baylor has gone out early in the tournament the last few years. They really need to make a big run here in the tournament, Baylor. They need to win a few games here. SMU had a fabulous year. I'm going to go Baylor here just because of the level of competition. Baylor plays in the Big 12. They're battle-tested. SMU's conference not all that great. I know they had a fabulous record. I could see SMU winning this game. I'm on the fence here. I'll take Baylor here just because of the Big 12 competition they faced. And Baylor, one of these years, they're going to have to win a couple games. I think it'll be this year. I like Baylor to get to the Sweet 16. And over in Greenville, you'll have Marquette against Duke. Coach K going against one of his ex-assistants, one of his ex-players, Wojciechowski, who coaches Marquette. You got to like Duke here. Duke is just too much for Marquette. Duke gets to the Sweet 16. Let's get down to the West around the 32. Salt Lake City we go. It'll be Gonzaga against Northwestern. Listen, as good as Northwestern has done this year, it comes to an end here. I don't think they have enough to beat Gonzaga. I mean, I think Gonzaga will win this game rather comfortably. I'll take Gonzaga there. Over to Buffalo, we have a fabulous matchup. Notre Dame against West Virginia, and I went back on this game many, many times. I could see this game going either way. I'm going to take Notre Dame. Flip of the coin game. I'll just take Notre Dame. If you like West Virginia, I could not argue with you. That looks like it's going to be a tremendous, tremendous basketball game, but I'm going to go Notre Dame to get to the Sweet 16. Down to Orlando we go. We'll have Maryland against Florida State. Very, very interesting game as well, but I gotta like Florida State. They're in Orlando. I didn't love Maryland all that much this year. I know Florida State didn't play great down the stretch, but I think Florida State is too much for Maryland. I know a lot of people are picking against Florida State early. I think Florida State has enough to get to the Sweet 16 here, so I'll go Florida State there. And over to Salt Lake City we go, where it'll be Arizona and St. Mary's. Listen, you got, as much as I love St. Mary's, I don't think they can pull off this upset. Arizona's healthy now. They're one of the contenders. I think they'll have enough to beat St. Mary's. I like Arizona to get to the Sweet 16. All right, let's go over to the Midwest round of 32, where you'll have Kansas against Miami in Tulsa. I mean, very, very interesting game just because of the Larranaga factor. Larranaga gives Miami a shot. Kansas is a funny team. They can beat anyone, they can lose to anyone. You've seen that in the tournament. They've won the title, and then they've lost to Bucknell early. So you never know quite what you're getting from Kansas. I think they'll have enough here to beat Miami. I'm sure Miami with Larranaga will make it interesting, but I like the Jayhawks to get through there. Let's go to Milwaukee, where you'll have Iowa State against Purdue. I like Iowa State. They're on a roll. They won the Big 12 tournament. I mean, I think Iowa State's going to have enough here to get through. I like Iowa State there. Over to Sacramento we go. Rhode Island against Oregon. Very interesting because Rhode Island is hot and Oregon has that key injury. I'm still going to take Oregon here. I think they have enough talent to get through here, to get through this, to the Sweet 16. So I am going to take Oregon here. I mean, as much as Rhode Island, as hot as they are, I got to take Oregon to get through there. So Oregon advances in Sacramento. Over to Indianapolis we go, and what a great game this is. This is a must-watch if we get it. Louisville against Michigan, and both fan bases will be represented in Indianapolis. That is a fabulous atmosphere. If you can get to that game, get to it. This will be a great game. Michigan, just a team of destiny right now. Louisville, always good. I have to think Rick Pitino is going to find a way with his defense to cover those Michigan three-point shooters and find a way to pull this game out. I'm going to go with Rick Pitino here, finding a way defensively to shut down Michigan's perimeter game. I'm going to go Louisville there to advance. That is a tremendous must-watch game. All right, down we go to the South region, round of 32, back to Greenville, South Carolina, where it will be North Carolina against Arkansas. Again, both fan bases should be well represented. North Carolina, too strong for Arkansas. I respect Arkansas. I like the coach a lot. North Carolina, too strong. They advanced there to the Sweet 16. Down to Milwaukee we go. We'll have Butler against Middle Tennessee State. Now remember, Middle Tennessee State last year pulled off the big upset against Michigan State in round 2. They lost by about 50 points. That may happen again here. I think Middle Tennessee State beats Minnesota, but I think Butler gets them here. I think Butler advances to the Sweet 16. Over to Sacramento we go. UCLA against Cincinnati. I mean, I know Cincinnati this year they say is better offensively, but to me, I don't think they have enough firepower to beat UCLA. UCLA is the best offensive team in the country. UCLA, too much firepower. They beat Cincinnati. They get to the Sweet 16. Down to Indianapolis we go. Kentucky against Wichita State. We've had this matchup before. Again, as much as I'd love to see Wichita State pull the upset, it's not going to happen. Kentucky, too strong. Kentucky gets to the Sweet 16. All right, we are now in the Sweet 16, folks. We will get up to the East region. From Madison Square Garden we go. And what a game this should be. Villanova against Virginia. They played once this year. Villanova beat Virginia at the buzzer down in Philly. Should be that type of game again. Should be very, very close. I'm going to go with Villanova because Virginia sometimes has trouble scoring, and I don't like taking teams that have trouble scoring and have long droughts when you get this late in the tournament. I think Villanova's offense will be too much for them. I think Villanova pulls it out in Madison Square Garden. Villanova to the Elite Eight. Madison Square Garden Game 2, you will have Duke against Baylor. Listen, I gotta like Duke here. I'm giving Baylor the benefit of the doubt winning 2 rounds. I mean, that's shaky to begin with. I gotta like Duke here. They're just too strong. Duke Nova in Madison Square Garden, the Elite Eight. We'll get to that in a second. That is a humdinger. Let's go down to the West region. San Jose, California, Sweet 16. You'll have Gonzaga against Notre Dame. Very, very interesting game. Remember, Gonzaga has to get that monkey off their back. They got to get to the Final Four this year. They keep knocking on the door. They can't get there. This is a very tough game here. I could see Notre Dame pulling off the upset, but being the game's in San Jose, I think that'll be a Gonzaga house. I think the home crowd will get Gonzaga through here. Very, very tough game, though, for the Zags, but I think they pull it out west. I like Gonzaga to get to the Elite Eight. Down to the bottom of that, in San Jose, you'll have Arizona against Florida State. I got to go with Arizona. I'm high on Arizona this year. I liked what I saw from them in the Pac-12 tournament. They're healthy now. Florida State, like I said, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, winning 2 rounds. Hard to see them winning in San Jose against Arizona. It's going to be all Arizona fans there. Arizona fans travel well. They will pack San Jose. Arizona beats Florida State to get to the Elite Eight. Up to the Midwest we go, Sweet 16. It'll be Kansas against Iowa State from Kansas City. These teams know each other well. They play each other a couple times a year. So this should be a fabulous matchup. Both fan bases should be well represented. Probably a little more in Kansas City for the Jayhawks. I'm going to go with Kansas here. I think they're just a little better than Iowa State. I know Iowa State's hot now. I like Iowa State's team, but I think Kansas is just better. I love that Kansas backcourt. Playing in Kansas City, slight edge there to the Jayhawks. I'll go Jayhawks there to get to the Elite Eight. Also, in Kansas City, you'll have Louisville against Oregon. This is where I think Oregon's big injury comes back to bite them, and I think Louisville gets through here. And I also think Louisville will have a lot of fans in Kansas City. Oregon coming across the country. That'll be a Louisville house. I think that Oregon injury catches up to them here. I like Louisville to get to the Final 8. Down to the south we go. From Memphis, we will have North Carolina and Butler. Again, North Carolina too strong for Butler. I mean, North Carolina, these early rounds set up for them to make a nice run here. I like North Carolina to crush Butler and get to the round of 8. And then another monster matchup from Memphis, UCLA against Kentucky. What a tremendous game this is. Like I said, these teams have played before. I mean, this should be a spectacular game. I'm going to go Kentucky here. The game is in Memphis. It's going to be all Kentucky fans. UCLA, like Oregon, coming across the country. That's going to be a Kentucky house. That's going to feel like a Kentucky home game. Kentucky playing better now. I like Kentucky to beat UCLA in a fabulous must-watch game. If you like UCLA, I could not argue with you. Kentucky is my pick, though, to get to the Final 8. All right, we're in the Final 8 now. Let's get back up to the East region. Let's get to Madison Square Garden with a trip to the Final 4 on the line, and you have a gargantuan matchup between Duke and Villanova. And you know I've mentioned my cousin down in North Carolina a bunch of times on the show. He was in euphoria last year when Villanova won the title. He was in despair for the football season when the Falcons blew that game to the Patriots. So the highs and lows for my cousin down there in North Carolina. He's a huge Villanova fan. His wife is a Duke fan, went to Duke. You think there's not going to be some dissension in that household if you get this matchup? Listen, this is a tough game. It could go either way. I went back and forth on this game. I'm going to go Duke here. Very hard for a team to do it 2 years in a row. Villanova, you're asking them to do a lot here. They won it last year. They won the Big East title. They won the tournament. Now you expect them to get back to the Final Four. They got to go through Duke to do it. I think that's just too much. I think Villanova's going to run out of a little gas here. Duke is hot. They're healthy. Madison Square Garden should be in a frenzy. You'll have both Villanova and Duke fans. If you can get to this game, definitely get it. I'm sorry to my cousin Paul. I'm sorry to my friend Ed who love Villanova. I got to pick Duke here. I am sorry. I could go either way. I could see Villanova winning it. I'm going to pick Duke. Duke gets to the Final Four. I know I'm going to get some messages later from Paul and Ed. They're not going to be happy with me. So Duke is my first pick into the Final Four. Down to the West we go. San Jose, Arizona against Gonzaga. Is this the year Gonzaga finally gets to the Final Four? They beat Arizona earlier in the year, but Arizona wasn't healthy. They had a key guy out. I don't think Gonzaga gets there. I think their hearts are broken again. I think Arizona beats them, and the Gonzaga fans are heartsick again. I think Arizona is going to pull it out. Arizona out of the West to get to the Final Four. Up to the Midwest. Back to Kansas City we go, and what another just unbelievable game. Kansas-Louisville from Kansas City. We're going to have both fan bases well represented. Two classic teams. I'm going to say Kansas just because of their backcourt pulls this out. This is going to be another must-watch game, though. I'll take Kansas there in an absolutely fabulous game. And down to the south we go from Memphis, and another one if we get it. North Carolina and Kentucky, with those two fan bases in attendance, that should be another awesome game. I think North Carolina is just a little better. Kentucky's so young. They are starting to get it together, but I think they're so inexperienced still. North Carolina is just a big-time team. When North Carolina plays their best game, I think they can beat Kentucky. I think they'll play their best game here. I like North Carolina to get to the Final Four. All right, so the Final Four from Glendale, Arizona. You will have Duke against Arizona and Kansas against North Carolina. Let's start with Duke, Arizona. I mean, another unbelievable game. There should be a lot of Arizona fans in the house out there. I mean, they're playing in their home state. Arizona fans travel well. I know Duke fans are all over the place. It should be a fabulous atmosphere. I'm going to go Duke. I think I like the ACC better than the Pac-12. So in that aspect, I'm going to take Duke here. I mean, if you liked Arizona, again, I couldn't argue with you. I'm going to take Duke there to get to the final game. As far as the other game, Kansas, North Carolina, are you kidding me? I mean, some of these games are just impossible to pick. I'm going to go with North Carolina. I think when all's said and done, North Carolina, when they play their best game, has the most talent. So I'm going to go with North Carolina to get to the final game, and that'll set up a national championship game. Duke, North Carolina, for the fourth time this year. Duke's beat them twice. Duke beat them in Cameron. Duke beat them in the ACC tournament as they came back to win. North Carolina got them in Chapel Hill. Fourth time. What an unbelievable matchup we could have if you get this. Duke, North Carolina, one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. Who do I like? I like North Carolina to take it all. Like I've been saying, when North Carolina plays their best game, I think they're the best team. I think they have the most talent. So I think North Carolina is going to win the title. So not only did I annoy my cousin Paul and my friend Ed by picking Duke against Villanova, but now I annoyed my cousin's wife who likes Duke by picking North Carolina. So I'm in trouble all over the place. I'm not getting any invites to go down to North Carolina anytime soon after this. I mean, no, they're not inviting me down to North Carolina after this. But I got to go with North Carolina here. I got to go with the Tar Heels. I think they have the best talent. I think when they play their A game, they are the best team. I like North Carolina to cut down the nets. They were so close last year. They were an inch away from going into overtime, and who knows where that game would have ended up. North Carolina was so close last year. I think they get it done this year. I think they have the most talent. When they play their best game, I think North Carolina is the best team in the country. I like North Carolina to cut down the nets, but to me, this tournament has about 7 teams that could legitimately win it. Duke can win it. North Carolina can win it. Kansas can win it. Arizona can win it. UCLA can win it. Villanova can win it. And you got to put Gonzaga in there just out of respect for the season they had. They only lost 1 game. Oregon would be in the conversation, but they have that key injury. So it should be a fabulous tournament. I mean, a lot of excitement. You have some really good early round games, too. You got some tremendous stuff. I mean, Miami, Michigan State in the first round. You could have a second round Notre Dame, West Virginia game. You got some really awesome games. This tournament is so much fun. It is just great stuff. Now, the tournament this year will be on CBS, TruTV, TNT, and TBS. I don't love the TNT TBS coverage because you get the NBA guys like Barkley and Smith and Ernie Johnson. I wish they'd keep the NBA guys on the NBA and the college guys on the college, but I won't get too much into that. As far as the seating, I didn't think the committee did a great job with the seating, but I'll live with that. I don't want to go crazy on that. I thought Duke maybe was misseeded as well. I'm not going to go crazy with that. But like I said, it should be a fabulous tournament. It starts tonight and tomorrow with the playing games. Then the rest start Thursday, Friday, over the weekend. You're going to have wall-to-wall basketball Thursday and Friday from like noon to midnight all weekend. Here on the East Coast, we have some bad weather, some snow. I mean, up in Buffalo, they're having a lot of bad weather. Villanova had to leave, I think, yesterday to get up to Buffalo, so they'll be hanging around Buffalo for a few days. But this should be an absolutely fabulous, fabulous event. It always is. A lot of teams can win it. You know there's going to be some team that makes a run. We'll see how quickly my bracket is busted open. It won't take long. But when all is said and done, I like North Carolina to cut down the nets. You guys stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. I'll probably be back with you guys next week. We'll see where we are in this tournament. Maybe preview the Sweet 16. I'll talk to you guys probably next Tuesday. Thanks as always for the support. Great to be back with you guys. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Take care.